Sasamahan kita. Sasamahan kita.
Ng kinabukasan, tuklasin ang kayamanan ng pusong nangangarap. Bawat hakbang patungo sa pangarap. 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 Ng kinabukasan, tuklasin ang kayamanan ng puso, lumalaban. Bawat hakbang patungo sa pangarap. Pangarap. Pangarap.
Sasamahan kita, huwag kang mag-alala. Sasamahan kita, di ka na mawawala. Sasamahan kita, meron ka ng kasangga. Sasamahan kita, di ka na mag-iisa. Sasamahan kita, huwag kang mag-alala. Sasamahan kita, di ka na mawawala. Sasamahan kita, meron ka ng kasangga. Sasamahan kita, di ka na mag-iisa.
Buksan ng kinabukasan, tuklasin ang kayamanan ng puso, lumalaban. Bawat hakbang patungo sa pangarap. Buksan ng kinabukasan, tuklasin ang kayamanan ng puso, lumalaban. Bawat hakbang patungo sa pangarap. 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 Pangarap.
Sasamahan
Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome our deans, faculty, and students from PHINMA Education, from our schools in Aralo University, University of Pangasinan, St. Jude College, Republican, Rizal College of Laguna, Cagayan de Oro College, University of Iloilo, Southwestern University, and our invited guests from other schools for the webinar on Crossing disciplines, navigating change, sustaining excellence. This is Lynn Romanillas from the Alumni and Corporate Engagement Team, Southwestern University FINMA. Joining me today to lead us in prayer is the program head of Southwestern University FINMA MBA, Ma'am Heda Gutierrez, and this is to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem and the AVP on Business. Ma'am Heda.
So at this point, let's just come into the presence of God. For two or three gather in His name, there He is with them, in them, and by them. Almighty Father, indeed, you work in ways far beyond what we can imagine, in ways we cannot see. And we are always in awe of you, knowing that you are with us in taking unprecedented steps in unprecedented times. We offer thee thanksgiving by saying, thank you for making crossing disciplines, navigating change, sustaining excellence possible for everyone to draw inspiration from. So we commit to you the rest of the program with Dr. Chen, as we believe that he who began a good work in us will be faithful to complete it. And we claim this webinar a success with thanksgiving in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns forever. Amen.
For a while, students, we have technical difficulties. Please bear with us for a moment. So while waiting for our tech team to deal with the situation, we would like to remind our students to please register. So we have the link provided to you. Please make sure to do so. And for later on, we have our comment box for your questions.
Men and women who won't just do business but will dare to reimagine it. who won't let practices and customs limit their options.
who are creative as well as competent,
who care about people, the society, and the world.
who has a vision for the global but an understanding of the local.
Who can work as a team but also function independently.
who have reward, hands-on experience even before they graduate.
At the SWB School, backed by PHINMA, one of the country's most respected conglomerates, we develop professionals skilled in the craft and art of management and strategy, the kind that today's world needs.
At the SWUB School,
You will learn to adapt
To the rapids of change.
So you can successfully navigate the ever-changing corporate environment.
and when it's your time to lead,
You will be more than up to the challenge.
SWB School.
You will learn to adapt
To the rapids of change.
So you can successfully navigate the ever-changing corporate environment.
and when it's your time to lead,
You will be more than up to the challenge.
SWB School.
To formally welcome our participants to this interesting discussion, we have our Dean from SW PHINMA B School. We have Dr. Danny Sarasin. Dean Danny, hi.
Hi.
I'll give
Good
you
afternoon. Yes, how are you out there? I hope you're fine. Okay, we would like to welcome everyone to this special learning event featuring Dr. Estella Chen. As you would know from the banner announcements, she looks like a movie star from a Korean telenovela, doesn't she? She's very famous in the Philippines. Well, her singular beauty as a speaker is not because she is a movie star material, but I declare she is, but because she personifies what she will talk about in the webinar, as you can listen to her. For example, from being an educator, she turned around to become an entrepreneur and a businesswoman. From majoring and specializing in the English language, she turned around again and found opportunity in Mandarin. Can you imagine that? And then from her startup struggles, she achieved the success that we can hear about now. And she is bringing the enterprise to the next higher levels of excellence. So to all our students, she is like you with your dreams. So be inspired, learn, and change the world. So without much ado, let's welcome Dr. Estella Chen. Dr. Estella?
Hi, thank you, Dean Sarashing. Am I mispronouncing your name?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Daniel is easier. Oh, thank you so very much again. I actually just learned how to say thank you very much. That's Malaming Salaman. All right, so thanks again for having me. Can somebody help me with my slides? That's embrace the beauty of technology. So for some reason I can't control my own slides, so I need help with that. Jeffrey, right? Can you try to help me? Thank you so very much. All right, thank you everybody. Nice intro from our dean. I'm totally just like you. So I'll try to control my time, and I'll try to save a lot more time for Q&A. Although I've already got some of your questions. The other day we were having this test run. I love those questions, and I actually love the questions that you guys, maybe not you guys, but students from PHINMA Education, they asked last time. I feel like I'm coming back home, and then although I never really had the chance to go to PHINMA yet, I feel like Wow, I'm coming back. So this time I'm going to give you some updates and then definitely focus on, well, this is actually the topic that the team helped. So thanks so much again for, especially excellencies. Um, yeah, I'm trying to always, so trying to reach the best. All right, next slide, please. Um, so the agenda, next. Thanks. So we'll be taking a look at the definition of success. What's that? Okay, so I'll talk about that and then I'll give you some of the updates since last time we were talking about from X to Mandarin X and also the lessons learned. And always wanted to encourage everybody, don't be a warrior, because not the yoga asanas, warrior 1, 2, and 3. It's like you actually worry something too much. So later I'll be sharing a lot more. And then, yeah, next, please. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Oh, I feel a lot easier that I can just, sit here and talk without managing. Oh, actually, one more. Okay, principles, principles of my personal management, like how I maintain, even balance my personal life. So, and then Q&A. All right, go into the first slide. I'm going to ask. So, what do you think? Definitely. Well, oh, okay. The font looks fancier. All right. So, what success is? Try to think. Like, make a lot of money. People might think that like off top of the head, you would think, well, I'm successful, or Elon Musk is successful because he is ranked as the #1 billionaire in the world. But really, so just actually like a couple weeks ago, maybe just a week ago, I came across this post from LinkedIn, and everybody, of course, knows Michelle Obama. If you read this, so success isn't about how much money you make; it's about the difference you make in people's lives. You might think, well, that's pretty cliche, because I don't have money, and then I have all these ideas and I don't know how to get it started. Or you might think, well, I can't even afford my tuition, and how am I going to get into, like a super expensive university? Because in the States, like my university, it's very expensive. You gotta be rich. So people always joke, like, oh, you're from USC, University of Spoiled Children. I'm like, no, I'm straight A student. I work my way up. I'm really not a spoiled child. So it's really like money when it comes to success. People think of money first. Even though from my own experience, when I was doing a lot of fundraising for the past few years, even past few months, I was still doing fundraising. Because as a CEO, you're always looking for resources, not just the human capitals. It's definitely finance, right? And yeah, and then when people actually look at your sales report, everything like that, money is always the first. But really, is that how you define the success yourself? So we'll get into that more, but I just try to throw this concept in the very beginning. So what do you think? And how do you define yourself as a successful person? Maybe last time when we talked, I don't know. Did I mention that I started to do yoga? Maybe I think I did. So that was last year. Oh, it's actually last year. How soon, right? 2020. So we just stopped traveling because of this pandemic. And then I always, make a good use of my time. So been in Taiwan for a whole year because this is so rare, and I consider this as like a precious timing because I never had the chance to be situated in my hometown for such a long time. It's literally a year. Then because it's always like a go always airport, tracing the planes, but not buses, yeah, but subways, just every day. And then I just started to settle a lot more.
And then I started to learn yoga. And then when I always observe my teachers, because they're all from India, they're happy. They're really happy. They're truly happy. I can tell if they make enough, like a lot of money. I don't think so, because really, I mean, the market here in Taiwan, because it's just an island, right? It's like a lot of population and people are so into doing yoga. So but that's probably the philosophy that, you know, they're just happy. And one time I asked my teacher, actually my coach, and he was like, well, I just focus on, showing respect to people, and then focus on my peaceful, their your inner peace, and then I'm satisfied with the life here, because I was from the rural area of India, and this is so good for now. I can be here in Taiwan. So I mean, he considered himself successful, and I think so. Although he doesn't make a lot of money, or that much money. So again, but he does change my points of view of seeing lives. Yeah, I'll definitely get into more. So yeah, just it's a lot to share. Okay, next slide, please. The next one, I'm going to talk about some updates. So we've been having this business for 5 years. Oh, it's actually 6 years. It's ever since 2015. It's 2021 now. So that was literally this month. Yes, I got it started this month. I put up the shingle on the edX MOOC platform. I was probably still the first, or even until now, the only individual organization on edX platform. And we used to have like only like business Chinese products, and for adults. And it just last year, nobody goes to China, and all the borders were closed. Then we suddenly like lost a lot of students, because number one, they feel like, well, there's no point in learning Chinese now, and then we don't need to travel, and then I don't even know where I can find, a job that is related to speaking Chinese. So as a CEO and the founder, I was like, oh, we really need to pivot. And then I saw another opportunity. So most of the CEOs or the entrepreneurs, rather than focusing on the problems, we tend to focus on the opportunities. So I started to not actually like do research, but I just started to focus on a lot more of the opportunities. So okay, we don't have adult students. What can we go for another market? And then I just relocate the kids product. So we just realized that kids can't go to school. They're all trapped at home with their parents, right? So they need online Mandarin classes. Because thinking of when I was a kid, I need to go to like the school to learn Chinese, but now you can't. You gotta really like just stick to your laptop, your iPad, instead of playing the games. You really need to learn the languages, especially the Chinese immigrants. So we started to have this kids products, and I call it like a Bao Chinese. Bao is for baozi, like a bun, the steamed bun. And then the reason that I love this name and I want to have this name for our kids product is just because the baozi contains a lot of good memories. So when we were forced to go to learn Chinese, and uncle and my aunt would just give me baozi and say, hey, you'll have baozi after the class. So Well, I was hoping that kids learning the languages with us, they can feel like, this is the pleasure, having the bows, and then, so that's where we started and how I came up with this idea. As of today, we've got at least like a thousand courses developed, and then we have a couple of like probably 100 students, kids learning like Chinese with us. So I'm happy. It just we lost the market of those adults, and then we have another one. So this is something that we just pivot a little bit. And then lessons learned was that the cultural differences, sometimes that's still there. And then because during the past 6 months, I was trying to communicate with my team in Beijing. It just, a lot of times that's the cultural difference. Say we have we probably have a quote saying something like, culture eats the strategies for lunch. Can anyone try to guess what that means? It's like you want to set up a culture within your organization, and then because I consider my company as a global organization, because we have staff, we have team members in Singapore, and then our engineers, they're based in India. And then we have course development team in China, some in Singapore, and some even in Argentina. And then yeah, a couple of them, they're based in Taiwan. So and I just realized that radical candor, I'm not sure if I mentioned that last time, because the Chinese culture is something like you can't be straightforward or 100% transparent with your boss, or maybe with your colleagues, yes, but definitely not with your boss. So I was frustrated because I didn't really see the whole picture, like the real, like, the, I don't want to use the word chaos, or it's not chaos, it's just okay, probably mess. It's a word for that. I'm always being like candor. So there are problems there, but nobody want to report. Nobody. And then they're just trying to cover that. And then layer after layer after layer. And then the problem just gets, even worse, or even just, it's just like the fire. You just cannot, put that out. Because if that started small, it's easier. It's a lot easier. So, yeah. And it's just like, no matter how hard I try to set up the culture, like the company culture, it's like being candid, being transparent, just even have this one-on-one meeting with they need to have this one-on-one meeting with me, but they tend to sugarcoat everything. Yeah, this is just something that I learned, and I'm still trying to find a way to tackle that, and then to actually locate what the problem is, and try to, yeah, just to figure out strategies so that, is it for me? Not right. Okay, good. Okay, so I just heard something, ding ding ding. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll definitely yes, so that's the lesson learned. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning how I can manage the Chinese team a lot better, and communicate with people more efficiently. And it's just still there. That's still something that I still need to work on. All right. So yeah, next slide, please. I think I have some. Thanks. So when we talk about like, okay, yes, I know I need to worry about money. I need to worry about funding. I need to worry about paychecks every month, really, even like every day. When I wake up, I need to think of, okay, where are we going to expand even next month, or what's the direction for the whole company? How am I going to do a lot more like marketing, or how am I going to influence a lot more people? So, but I like this quote, and I definitely want to share with you. So, this is the lady, and she said that somebody once told her, if you stress too much about something before it happens, okay, for example, in your shoes, you're worried about, what if I can't make my business successful? We'll just worry too much, right? Because it's literally just down the line. Because maybe you haven't finished your degree yet, or maybe you just haven't even applied for the B school. So you basically put yourself through it twice. I totally agree. I totally agree. So I really feel like it's not that I'm way too optimistic, but most of the time when I was worrying about, oh, what about the investors are not going to proceed the next stage, and what if the cash flow can just can maintain the expenses. But again, it's like one is the future tense, then the other is like it's present. And then you're always like you always live between, like, if it's a time spectrum, right? From, okay, that's the past, and then present, and then future, the spectrum. And then you live under the present, but you always think of, oh, what if, that's the future tense, or the past tense, something like, I could have made it more profitable if I hadn't blah 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 blah. But again, if you worry about the past tense, you torture yourself. Right? So the only time when you look back is the time that you actually look back and see, wow, I've gone so far, I've gone that far. It's not like regrets. I have regrets too. I have a lot of regrets. It's like, because you guys all know that MandarinX was started as a non-profit. We didn't charge a penny, not even a penny, the first day. And it's really like all out of my pocket. And then I believe I shared this story once, or maybe last time. And I signed wrong contracts even twice, and then my family definitely helped out. We did a collateral, and eventually we lost the apartment. It just, I mean, but again, I don't like sleep on those regrets, or something that maybe even investors think that this is a huge mistake. It's a failure. And why did you start a business the first day and you charge nothing? But I mean, back to what I just want you guys to think about. Success is not all about making a lot of money. It's about impacting people's lives. So we have 450,000 students for now, and I'm pretty sure that most of them, they're like so very grateful that they got the chance to learn high quality Mandarin courses. I make people's life meaningful. So yeah, it's a failure, but just again embrace it. It's like we embrace the technology, right? The like the case, like what we just happened. And it's just always like that. So I'm also a fan of failure, because only if you make mistakes can you realize that you've been there, and you tried. You tried fixing the problem. You tried, making enough money to feed people, to stand on your own, or to even just to survive. Then I've been there, and I enjoy being like in in learning from mistakes. So yeah. So what I'm trying to say here is like I know some people seem to be born like to be like a warriors, because yeah, I definitely know somebody like that, and then they're just trying to worry way too much. But again, try to think that you just worry once and you suffer twice. So be optimistic, like everything is figure outable. It's a popular book that you can probably go find that out and read. There are a lot of stories about female entrepreneurs or female business women, and then they try to just do things. Yeah, just like Dean said, I'm just like you, nothing special, nothing normal. It's like, I have this doctoral degree, and then I don't feel like entitled to that because I'm still making mistakes every single day. And it's just yeah, just try to learn from the shits, right? Shit happens. And as a CEO, if you don't learn from the shit, how are you going to lead your team? And then to honestly admit that I made mistakes, and we're going to learn from it, and we are going to just to stand up again. Okay. Yeah, so maybe next slides, please. I got my notes here. I just try to want to cover all. Thanks. All right, so this is my personal, like how I manage myself personally. So people sometimes would think that, well, I think I'm good. I'm good in one certain endeavor, but there's not always just good, because it's actually like you can do better and then eventually best. And this is how I chase you know the path of being excelsior. Excelsior is another word for excellence. So the only way that you can make it happen is just like, I mean, it's difficult. Like you manage yourself, self-management. It's very difficult. It's like, you know, not through everybody, but you gotta use your own willpower. It's like, it's actually the Chinese New Year's Eve for here in Taiwan, and definitely in mainland too. Maybe in all the Chinese community. And guess what? What I'm planning to do later after this? I'll be writing my book. And then it's just like, because it's how you manage yourself, because I know I really need to manage my company during it's that's my daily routine. But I want to have my own achievement. It's like I practice yoga every day, at least 1 hour every day. I never stop doing that. And then it's just it's also self supervision. Like you supervise yourself. You don't have anybody, like the parents, right? Tiger parents. The other day I was hosting the webinar for our Bao Chinese kids, and the parents were really like the helicopters, and they were like, "Hey, do this. Raise your hand. Come on, answer this question." Very Chinese, because yes, they're most of them they're Chinese parents. So you don't have the helicopter parents, supervise you. So you need to make it your own, like your own syllabus, and then stick to that, and also self-discipline. That's so very important. The three things. Looking back, probably 3-4 years ago. This was that 3 or 4 years ago. I don't even remember. I was working on my doctoral degree. I was teaching as a full-time faculty member. Oh my god! And I was having this MandarinX just got started, and then I literally just probably I only like sleep 2 to 3 hours a day. And it's like, and people always ask, why you always look like energetic and then you don't look tired. I'm like, I have the dream ahead of me, and then I can always see that coming. So it's always like that. You need to sacrifice what you want to do and to get there. Yeah, it's just me. I know. I'm probably not a human being. And I know I don't look like I'm not aged ever since I'm like 20 or 20-ish. Although I'm going to be 41. God, very soon. But it's really like, again, for my yoga teacher, well, his inner peace is probably here, right? His inner peace, so he always feel like satisfied, happy. And for me, I think achievements, I enjoy having achievements. Even like, my book is all about English grammar. Because I've been teaching English. Did mention that I was an English teacher for almost 20 years. And then I just feel like I haven't really had the chance to package all the knowledges, and then that I can, I can just yeah, I can just package everything that I know, and to help Chinese speakers to actually, learn a lot more learning tips. So yeah, that's one. And then that's going to be the first book I'm going to publish this year. And then another one is probably something like mindful yoga, something like that. So achievements. So again, self-management. Okay, you got to manage yourself well. When I talk about manage yourself well, you really need to manage like yourself, not just physically, but mentally. Mentally, that's very important. Mentally, always from here, from your heart, and then your minds, right? Your minds, because minds have power too, and minds have thoughts too. So your heart and minds, that's connected, and then that can be turned into the actions. So manage yourself first, and then also supervise yourself. If you can't do that, you need to set up some rules, and you got to have principles. Say, I don't do alcohol. I just don't do alcohol. Even if I was doing business in China, I know there are so many like occasions and people tend to like a toast. I just don't do alcohol. I'm like, okay, if you want to really, if we're going to do business with this, I'd rather just you know don't do business with you guys, because I just can't. I can. It's not, that's my principle. I just don't do alcohol. I'm sorry, that's my principle. And also the discipline, right? The discipline is like, okay, I'm going to coach myself, I'm going to train myself to do yoga every day. So I'll just do that. And then no matter how busy I am, I'll just at least anything, even it's just like this stretching, that stretching, doing the shoulder stretching, or the easiest one, head standing. Okay, people might say, head standing? Really? That's the easiest? Yes, for me, the head standing, that's the easiest. So I'll just do head standing. And then that's my principle. I'll just do that no matter what. Make it 1 hour and don't stop until the alarm clock goes off. Like, okay, it's 1 hour. Just make it like a routine of your life. And then you can manage that. It just yeah, that's my personal self-management. All right, I'm going to tap onto the questions that I got the other day. Actually, that was just yesterday. Oh, the day before yesterday, and then I'll get started with the questions. Can we go to the question slide, and then I'll have you ask more questions. So I really enjoyed this one. So from students, okay, from students, how am I supposed to know that this is a good timing for starting a business? You never know, kids, you never know. It's like, how do you know that or people would ask, so when is the best timing for being a parent? I don't have kids yet. I want to. I want to have my own kids. So I prepare in advance. Like I froze my eggs probably 3 years ago when I earned my doctoral degree. I don't know. I don't know when is the best timing. Nobody knows that, or people might ask. So when is the best timing for getting married? There's no best timing. And then you might ask, how did you know? I don't know. You know, the fortune teller literally just said to my face, like, oh, that's a bad timing getting started your MandarinX in 2015. I'm like, oh, okay. So when is the best year? And she said, it's gonna be this year. I'm like, again, embrace the failure. I mean, if I hadn't started MandarinX 6 years ago, and how would I have that many students for now? And how am I going to, to talk to you or even to meet you? And then how am I going to spend the past 5 years or 6 years, or even literally the past 2 years? I became a full-time CEO. And then how am I supposed to know that, you really need to focus, quit my job at the university, and to learn how to do the finance reports, and then how to actually lead people. So I mean, there's always no good timing. It's just you feel like maybe you're not even ready yet. You just learn. So that's why we say fake it until you make it, right? It's just like being the parent. But I would suggest, really, get started with something that you are good at. Maybe you're not that, but maybe you're not that passionate about it. You really need to be good at it. Okay, I'm good at teaching. I'm really, really good at teaching. I'm so good at teaching. Probably when I was 20, the first time I was up on the stage, I knew I enjoy standing on the podium, just talking, and then I enjoy organizing everything I know, and it's actually like I chew everything and then spit it out, and then organize everything again for my baby, like my kids. I know I'm really good at that. So my business is actually highly connected to my expertise. So yeah, online teaching pedagogy, online teaching presence. Now we do online teacher training. And if you actually look at how we teach the kids, it's really like, I would say that that's so very creative when it comes to Chinese teaching, Chinese learning, because the traditional way, because compared to other languages, like English, it's a lot more like, that contains a lot more like casual elements, and then it's just different. Chinese is a language that's very rigid. Maybe that's just because of the character system. I don't know. And then there's so many Chinese idioms. Oh my god. And poems. Oh my god. And then sometimes a word contains so many meanings. But the way we make it, we teach it, it's just kids yell for that. And then they would do me. Maybe they were forced by their parents, I don't know. But sometimes I step in and look at the teachers conducting classes. That's just really engaging. So yeah, teaching and designing courses, that's something that I'm really, really good at. I'm passionate about it, yes. So I would say that's a lot safer, that if you start something that you're, number one, good at, two, you're passionate about. So at least you have something that you can fall back, and then oh, I can, I went broke twice. I told you, right? So when I was broke, I went back to teach English. To make myself sustainable. and then just got started. So this is something that I think it's just never a good timing. It's something that you feel like, I love it. I think I'm good at doing. Not I think I'm good at doing this. You'd better try. You'd better try. It's there's no way. There's no such a thing like the good timing. Pandemic. I know it's just uncontrollable, right? But it will pass. It will pass. Just keep going. The second question that I love so much as well. Can we have the second? I think that was somebody with me, right? Yes, thank you. Oh, you're right. You don't know how to raise money and how can you get your project funded or your business funded. I didn't know. I didn't know, honestly. Back then, I raised almost like 500,000 to get it started with our brand, our shingo, everything. Um, but I just raised money from some of my students. They're adult students, and then eventually my family stepped in, and then I have several angel investors. So when we talk about like the first round, okay, so when it comes to fundraising, and people always talk about, okay, the angel round, like the different series, like the A series, B and C, and then people and a lot of companies eventually go IPO. But here we're talking about super early stage. Like I have this idea, and how am I going to get it started? If you have families, friends that they want to support, that's probably the easiest way to get the money. Or angel is somebody that they don't really look at your ROI, return of investment, within a short period of time. Instead, they believe in you as a person, like they believe in your um like just you as a person. Yeah, remember you as a person. I remember Daniel Din said. So you just be you, the whole piece of Estella, right? So yeah, somebody, right? My angels, they believe in the whole piece of me, and then I'm lucky. They're also my mentors. Um, but that's the thing. However, I would suggest that you can try to start something, um like test it out. Again, I think I mentioned that last time. You test it out, and then you have um it's pretty much like, okay, you want to, because recently here in Taiwan, the English learning platform, they don't know if the students are willing to pay that much money for learning the grammar or the conversation skills. So they would just do some trailers or testers, and then people can try to feel like they can try to eat it a little bit and see if they like it. Then they put the money down. So once they hit the targets, for example 300 students put deposits, and then they started to build their products, meaning the courses, the online courses. I think that's very smart, and that's actually a lot more affordable, and then less risky. Instead of you raise the money, and then even just from your family or parents, family, friends, but you feel bad, right? Like I feel really bad because I haven't made enough money yet to pay back my family. So you can actually get started with that. Then yeah, I like that idea. It's much more like the crowdfunding. So there are a lot of crowdfunding platforms. I'm not sure if Kickstarter is still there, or yeah, stuff like that. You can try to test it out and see if people like that, and then they'll put like the first payment, and then right. So yeah, that's something I would suggest that maybe you can try. All right, the last question that I got the other day was, oh, should I somebody help me with that? The clip, yeah. Should I be employed under somebody, or should I be my own boss? I love this question too. I still stay in touch with some of the colleagues from the former university, and it's a great university in Taiwan. It's a public university. Students were good. Life is so good when I was teaching there. But if you ask me, why did you just? I'd rather be my own boss. Because when I was working there, it's a good university. It's a very good public university, but it's a big university, and then there's definitely hierarchy within of course, the organization. And I'm just that type of person that I can't, I just can't deal with hierarchy, or I hate to step over somebody's authority to get things done, or to to use a lot of relationships. In Chinese we call it 关系, first and first tone. So 关系, it's all about who you know, how you deal with things, pretty much relate to what I just said. Like in China, you really need to do alcohols, or to hang out with a lot of people by drinking. I just can't do that. And then I know it's definitely easier for me to start my own organization, MandarinX, instead of talking to the president, the dean of the business school, and then they'll have to to have you write a lot of reports and to justify how are we going to use this money. So again, I mean, that depends on what type of person you are. I'm just I just me. I can't really, work under somebody's supervision because I'm self-supervision, self-management, and self-discipline. All right, so those are the questions that I got from the other day from Dean, and I'm open to more questions if you have. Always happy to hop on calls if you guys have any more questions or anything that we can talk about.
Hi, Dr. Chen. Thank you
Hi.
so much for giving our audience a lot of ideas to think about. More reasons to open or find a business they love and be successful just like you. So for you, it's Mandarin X, and it's great that you are still learning along the way and not to worry too much, right? So
Nah,
how about
never.
our students? What's your aim? Aim where you're passionate about, just like Dr. Shen. So students, we are now ready to receive your questions. Feel free to write it in English, Tagalog, or Bisaya man in the comments.
That's
And
the dialects, right?
Dr. Shen?
That's the dialects, right?
Yeah, the all dialects here in the Philippines. For them to
Wow.
be comfortable in asking you questions, we just have to translate it to you.
Oh, okay.
So students, the link of our attendance is in the caption. Just click on that. And I just want to have a special mention that all incoming PHINMA education students from grade 11 and freshmen will be given special access to the virtual concert of Ben and Ben. So to this part, we are inviting Dean Danny, Sir Chad, Miss Bobs, and Miss Bing to join Dr. Chen in the open forum. So here are some of the questions for you. More questions, Dr. Chen.
Sure.
So, Dr. Chen, what make you decide to take this path? Who or what is your inspiration?
I think I had this question in July last year.
Yes, we'll just have to repeat. We have a different.
Nice. You guys remember who I said back then? My grandma. My grandma. It's like, Well, I was lucky. I was educated as a whole person. Like when I say whole person, it's really like, like we don't have uh boys, girls in my family because you're a girl and you're a boy. So you can go to the doctoral studies and then you're a girl, you need to get married when you're 20. No, never, we never act like that. So I was lucky. And then my grandma is somebody who encouraged me like all the time because I remember when that was probably when I was 25. And I was dating somebody super rich. Then the guy's parents was like, well, you gotta stay at home instead of teaching, doing things, or showing your faces everywhere, which I'm happy now because I'm pretty sure that my faces are all around in Philippines. So, but it was like that was back then, 15 years ago, and then struggled, very struggled, because I knew my mom, especially my mom, wanted me to get married, to find somebody. So I struggled, and I asked my grandma. I was like, I don't feel like happy, keep seeing this guy, marrying to him, going into his family. That's not what I want. My grandma was like very supportive. Be you. Always be you. Like I said, you are you. The whole piece of Estella. Just be whatever you want to do. So yeah, so I was teaching English. Then I feel like Chinese is a language that worth exploring. So yeah, I just get it started and started to coach teachers.
Thank you, Dr. Chen. So with that, we just have to be ourselves so we can
Right.
be the best that we can be. So we don't have to pretend to be someone else.
I
Never.
agree.
So
It's
the-
too hard to be pretend whom
yeah,
you are not.
yes.
True.
Okay. This question naman, it's for Dean Danny. How Southwestern University FINMA molds student into someone influential in business? Dean?
Dean, you're muted.
Okay,
Dean?
I'll repeat the question.
Yes, please. Yeah. I sorry, I was
How
muted.
how Southwestern University FINMA molds students into someone influential in business?
Ah,
How
yes.
can you mold them to be influential in business?
Right. Well, the simplest thing is follow a good example. And in Dr. Chen, you have seen a very clear role model. You know, you don't have even to start like a business person. Same with Dr. Chen. That's why she crossed discipline from being an educator. She crossed the discipline to become a business person. Okay, and that's a skill. Okay, how do you learn? At Southwestern, we emphasize you learn from practitioners, real business people. Okay. The books, the theories, you can refer to them later, you know, right? And that is a very good story that you heard. Okay, so did I make it easy? Find a good example. Okay, learn from somebody who did it. Okay, and then follow, learn the principles. Okay, but this is the catch. Huh? Everybody now celebrates with Dr. Chen her success. Okay, but take note of her struggles. That's why she has a slide on don't worry, because if you worry, you suffer twice. So if you are weak, don't do that. It's not for you. Okay? Okay. But if you are brave like Dr. Chen, you are not afraid to work longer than necessary. Instead of taking a break on Friday, you will say, I have Saturday and then a little break probably on Sunday. So you extend. Okay. Look at the story of Dr. Chen. She saw the opportunity in times of crisis, you see? And it's part of the culture in the Chinese society, you know. In fact, opportunity and crisis are two sides of the same coin. Is that correct, Dr. Chen?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And so she saw not the crisis, but the opportunity. You know, children are trapped in their homes. What can we offer them? See, Dr. Chen was also trapped. She
Yeah.
could have chosen to just relax, do nothing, enjoy, you know, enjoy doing nothing. No. If you enjoy doing nothing, this is not for you, right? Okay. Back to our theory. You have a role model. That's why we invited Dr. Chen. Therefore, in short, okay, learn from a practitioner. That's why we have also a saying in Southwestern B School, learn business from business. And that is also the heritage of PHINMA. PHINMA is a business conglomerate. So we are saying learn business from our founders. That is our DNA, our genes. And as Dr. Chen said, you don't really have to be extraordinary. But look at the other slide. If you know you are good, you must have the attitude to get better. You have to learn.
Right. Yes.
And if you feel you're better, that's not enough. You have to strive some more to be the best. Okay? And how do you debate with practice? It's hard to debate because Dr. Chen is the personification of what she talked about. Okay. This is not theory. This is real life. And real life in business is the best learning opportunity.
Right.
So I hope I answered the question.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Danny. Doc, so our students asked that question. It's time to ask the students also if they really listen to us. So here's one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So students, take note. We have 2 winners per question, ha? So here is the question.
Okay.
The complete name of our guest speaker. The first 2 people to text their right answer with their complete name, contact number, and school to this number 0942 082 0539 will win 500 peso load.
Whoa.
Okay,
Go.
go on and text. So that's it. While waiting for them to go on, I have another question for Miss Bing. Do Southwestern and PHINMA offer graduate program for business? May we know a little of the program?
Yes. Yes, we do offer a Master of Business Administration here in Southwestern PHINMA, and we are in our first year of operation. Yeah, it's so sad that we were started with the COVID-19, but but even then, Dean Danny here was saying that even if we have one enrollee, we will go on with the MBA. But
Right.
but we didn't have one. We had 6.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had 6, and
Nice.
from January 11, we had another set of 7, so it makes them
Wow.
13.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very
Okay, and it's a word of mouth. We are
Yes.
making waves, and we are making known to others that we do
Right.
have this very good MBA program, and we do not just offer the traditional MBA. We are offering MBA through case study, case
Yes.
method. Yes.
Okay. I'd like to add 2 points from what being said. Initially, we were worried about COVID, but it also turned out to be an opportunity because
Yeah.
we discovered our coverage is now global. So we had a student
Yeah.
from Qatar. Can you imagine that?
Or
Do you see?
wow.
If not for COVID, we would be localized. We will be on
Yeah.
physical classroom.
True.
But because of COVID, we went to a virtual classroom. So that's just one example. Then we have the second batch from Bulacan. Can you imagine? And then from Zamboanga. Okay, so, and then what happened because of the coverage, we have diverse backgrounds. We have a doctor, we have two engineers, we have a radiologic technician,
We had a
we,
priest.
we even have a priest. So, learning from
We
Dr.
have one
Chen.
now from Amazon, Philippines.
Yes, okay.
Nice.
So the opportunity showed itself during the crisis, and it's up to you to pick it up and work from there. And the same lesson from Dr. Chen, okay? And are we complaining? No, we're happy. In fact, we're saying, okay, let's have a bigger coverage. Let's now we are discussing how to recruit more international students.
Great.
Okay?
Actually, we have one Nigerian,
Yes.
one US citizen from New Jersey, now based in Cebu. Yeah. We
Okay.
also have one from the Department of Education.
So it's a varied group of students. Okay. Thanks for the crisis.
Yes.
Okay. Huh?
Can I also sign up for
Yes,
that?
please. Yes.
We will be very honored.
So I can tell that the program is going to be so much fun and professional and knowledgeable. I can totally tell.
Having you in the
Right.
actually having you in the MBA will give us real live case.
Okay. Okay. So this is also a good eye opener to our students because these things are happening and we are able to report to you as they happen. The way that you heard from Dr. Chen, as he experiences day-to-day life as a business person, okay? And this is the difference between learning from books and from real life, okay? We don't have any problem with books. Please read them, research, but real life will enrich your application, okay? I would like to emphasize application. Then work backwards on the theory. And that's how we learn business. Okay. I
And for
hope
the theories, we have our cyber library set
we
for
have our
everybody.
cyber library. Okay.
Great.
So we can cite more examples. And we're just glad that Dr. Chen is one of them. Okay. If you like another example, well, we can cite those that we discussed in the cases, for example. Okay. Honda, the founder of Honda Motors, was a mechanic. What made him famous? Well, the junks of the Second World War included motorcycles. So he repaired them. And in repairing, he put up Honda Motors. That's why we have the Honda motorcycles.
Nice.
He was a mechanic. He did not have an engineering degree. So if Honda is famous now, it was because of a simple mechanic. So Honda said, now that I built a motorcycle, I will study theory. You see, he studied backwards. And then he said, now we can build a car. Because he studied. And that relates to that slide.
Dindani,
Yes.
you're sharing too much. Maybe on the program itself, you can share those informations. For
Yes.
candidates that will enroll, right?
Yes.
We'll now proceed to our next question.
Oh, very good. Am I over enthusiastic?
Yes.
Thank
First,
you.
it's
Thank
okay,
you.
Dindani,
Yes.
it's okay.
Thank you. I got
We
carried
want
away
those
with the
information to be shared in our
examples.
exclusive programs. Okay.
Yeah, I thought this was already a case room.
No fun, no fun. This is
Thank
open
you, thank you.
forum. Okay. With that, we have another raffle question for our students. Students, there are 8 schools under PHINMA Education. You can at least name 4. I mentioned this a while ago, and send your answer, your name, school, and contact number to this number. 2 winners again. The first 2 who will give us the answer, send your answer to 0917-835-2881. Okay, that's it. And to proceed to our next question. This is for Sir Chad naman. I saw a post in SWFB page that you are offering HRM and hospitality. With the current situation now that most of the hotels are closing, how can you motivate students to continue to study in this program? Sir Chad?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Ma'am Lynn, I was disconnected for a moment there, so I didn't catch the first part of the question.
Okay, here is the question for you, Sir Chad.
If you can repeat the question.
Sure, sir. I saw a post in SWFB page that you are offering HRM and hospitality. With the current situation now that most of the hotels are closing, how can you motivate students to continue to study in this program?
Well, that's true. The hotel industry is affected. It's one of the businesses that has been affected by the pandemic. It's not affected by it, but it has felt it the worst. A lot of people are no longer mobile in home, are not traveling much, but the industry is rebounding and trying to revive the hospitality industry. A lot of the industries now in Cebu, a lot of the tourism industry under certain conditions, of course.
Okay.
They need to meet the but the local governments,
I think Sir
local
Chad
government,
is having
IATF.
internet connection problem.
Yeah. Connection problem. Okay. We can go back to Chad.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Okay, we can hear you, Chad.
A lot of the local tourism, especially in Cebu, are reopening under certain conditions, and we see the industry rebounding. A lot of infrastructure development is also happening in Cebu, so we see the hotel hospitality industry, maybe not in the immediate future, but definitely in the future. People will definitely, when this all blows over, people will definitely want to go out again. People will want to explore places not only in the Philippines but outside the country. So there will be a future for hotel restaurant management graduates. And like any other business, hotel, hospitality, and food businesses are evolving and trying to cope or adapting to current conditions. So we see some hotels into to different service. Okay, so they're now safe havens for those who need isolation. For example, this for business purposes, and they have to contend with the quarantine conditions of that particular place. They normally stay at hotels. Okay, so a lot of hotels are preparing their places of business for that kind of new business. So do not, even in the food industry, okay, so even in the food industry, the mortar and brick establishments have probably been affected a lot by the pandemic, but a lot of new restaurants and food establishments have opened up. Okay. They're now delivering food via Grab, Food Panda, and other logistics. So This is the beauty of entrepreneurship. Okay, when you are placed in a difficult situation, in sudden abrupt change like where we are right now, entrepreneurs are the one who step up, step forward, and find opportunities, just like Dr. Chen did, right? And that's my challenge to out there, okay, who want to pursue a career in business, not only in hospitality, other aspects of business as well, manufacturing, service. The challenge for you right now is to think like entrepreneurs. Look for opportunities. Okay, that's it, Ma'am
Okay.
Lynn.
Okay.
Thank you, Sir Chad, for that. So be entrepreneur, whatever course you are, we still have a future for you all. So before I go on and give the question to Miss Bobs, I have another question for our students. So students, another question for you. What is the name of the School of Business of SW FINMA? So send in your answer with name, contact number, and school to this number. I'll repeat this 2 times so you can get it. You can send your answer to 0942-082-0539. Again, you can send your text answer to 0942-082-0539. Okay. So Miss Babs, this is the question for you. Do Southwestern University or FINMA Education help students even after they graduate? Like getting into a job or a company they want?
Thank you for your question, Lynn. Thank you very much, Dr. Chen, for your time today. And thank you, B School, for teaming up with the alumni and career corporate engagement group. These webinars are really an avenue to share information and to encourage students to learn beyond the books and theories, as Dean Danny said earlier. No? So over the course of the past year, we have been trying to work with industry partners to be able to help everybody out. No? It's a difficult time for everybody, and we struggle with internet connection because we are a group of islands, Dr. Chen. But despite these challenges, we were able to do 31 webinars. This is our 31st webinar. And we will have, yes, and we will have more in 2021. So we encourage you to please share the career linkages page. And we encourage you to check out the announcements in SWU because we have a lot of activities lined up for the year. Thank you for joining. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Miss Babs. So before, we have one more raffle question for our audience. So students, we've been mentioning it so many times in this webinar. What is the name of education network of Southwestern University FINMA and other 7 schools we mentioned a while ago? So for your answers, send your name, contact number, and school to this number, 0917-835-2881. I'll repeat, you can send your answer to 0917-835-2881. So that's it. That's it. So I think that's, I have one more question for Dr. Chen before we go. This is from Lorraine. I'd like to ask tips on how to get investors. Did you mention earlier about investors?
Yes. How to get investors?
Yes. I think if we have no fund to have our own business, I think we have to invite in more investors to invest in our business.
You know, investors are really like finding your Mr. Right or Mr. Mrs. Right. I started to get myself exposed to a lot of investors from like a startup meetups. But back then I was in States, mainly like Silicon Valley area, San Francisco, even New York, LA. But that's because my background is all connected to United States. Though I can't travel nowadays I try to join some of the meetups here in Taiwan. There are always entrepreneurs or business people. They have like this business unions. I'm pretty sure you guys probably have locals there, and then just get yourself exposed to that. And nowadays, they try to shift everything to online, so it's actually a lot easier for you to. Oh, even Clubhouse. So this morning I was listening to the. You guys have Clubhouse? I think it's relatively like newer. So well, anyways, probably not Clubhouse. It's just I'm sure there are a lot of networking groups online, especially it's been a year, everybody, is staying home. So try to join that. I just try to join, and then, you'll talk about 1 minute elevator pitch. I used to teach this at the university, like 1 minute. You gotta pitch to the investor within 1 minute, and then tell people what what you do, who you are, what you're passionate about, why do you want to invest me, really within 1 minute. So you gotta practice because nobody really have that much time listening to you. However, my experience is really like just the one yes. It's just the one yes. Number one, get yourself exposed to those startup meetups, and to the industry that you wanted to do, and try to find mentors. Sometimes your mentors can be your investors. My case
Yes.
are pretty much like that,
Okay.
right? And or yeah, it's just that's the only way. But most important of all, be you. Be you, because sometimes the investors can go way too far. It if this is not what you can do, they're trying to push you towards, like, because you want to go down to that path, but they're like, oh, it's like all the way to the opposite direction. Listen to your guts, because you are the only one who is going to manage your company, your business for long term.
Yes.
Investors are pretty much just like birth rider, right? They're probably just like, it's again, don't force yourself, and then don't take the money that's not smart money.
Right.
Smart money is important. When I mention smart money, is like the guy can help you in some ways, not just this guy is super rich and then he knows nothing about the business. You got to be so worried, and you won't be happy, I'm telling you, because I have some of those experiences when I was dealing with some investors in
Okay.
so never force yourself. And the
Yeah.
last piece of advice is like,
Okay.
I still embrace the idea of being genuine, a lot of jargons. However, people who like you, they like you, and then they like you as a person, and they like your business as well. So yeah, don't worry. You'll find Mr. Right or Mrs. Right.
Right. Right.
They're there.
Okay.
Just one yes.
Lynn, may I add to Dr. Chen for our.
Okay, Dean Danny, briefly you can add.
Yes, yes. We have in our B School for all our programs our industry academe partnership. So these businessmen and entrepreneurs come to our campus even before COVID. And now that we have COVID, they're still in touch. So as Dr. Chen advised, you keep on communicating. And this is also how we structured it so that you will have a support system. Your speakers, your mentors might eventually be your investors. That's why we have them in our programs
Yes.
in the
Right.
B School.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Dean. So that is our last question. I will now call on Sir Chad Castello, the Assistant Dean of SW FINMA B School, to give a message. Sir Chad?
Thanks, Ma'am Lynn. Hi, good afternoon. Let me just share with you my notes and my thoughts on Dr. Chen's talk. Like Obama, Dr. Chen may be considered a social entrepreneur. MandarinX started out as a nonprofit organization. In her bio, she stated that her long-term goal is to see Chinese proficiency, standardization, and testing on par with that of English with regards to international communication and academia. She subscribes to the idea that success is about making a difference in the lives of other people. She also tells us to not stress too much. Just as the song goes, don't worry, be happy. The key skills are self-management, self-supervision, and self-discipline. Even if you might be good in a certain behavior, you must always strive for better and eventually best. A recipe for success. Be a master of yourself first and foremost. Dr. Chen's message and of our current condition. The pandemic of 2020 hastened the rise of social or digital marketing. Businesses based on production or manufacturing found and will find ways to continue manufacturing, to endure, and to flourish. The challenge and the shift forced by the pandemic are in marketing. The question begging for an immediate answer is, how do we sell or deliver our products to customers? So the problem is not just logistics, but marketing more so. Grab, Foodpanda, and Lalamove definitely benefited from the reduced mobility of consumers. Brick and mortar retail establishments either closed business or adapted by bringing their products and services right at the doorsteps of customers instead of waiting for the customers to come to their place of business, which customers have now developed an aversion to. So now more than ever, agile management has become more relevant. The buzzword in the business community is agility. Agile organizations are responsive, quick, and able to adapt to change. Agile organizations have better chances of surviving and flourishing under the current conditions. Be agile, not fragile. The planning model should no longer be predictive, but rather adaptive. Embrace change. Now, in the book, that have become recently successful have replaced the previously entrenched companies by shifting from static to more dynamic business models. Just look at the story of Sears and eBay. And this is what we aim to develop in B School. Young men and women managers able to navigate the volatile, ever-changing business landscape. We train our students to be receptive, not resistant to change. Again, thank you, Dr. Chen, for sharing your inspiring story and insights. And thank you all for participating in today's webinar.
Thanks. Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. Malamin salaman.
Hey, wow.
Success in this world is not about ambition. It's about character. You shouldn't just aim for excellence. You should push for it. So here, we seek to not only change you, but to push you to your limits and draw out the best in you. So you can design your future and set off on your chosen path. We will shape your thinking and equip you with the proper experience, so you can achieve unimagined heights and reach the pinnacle of your profession. We will harness your skills and talents, so you can be confident, brave, and eager to conquer the world. We will surround you with an environment that uplifts and emboldens your spirit. Choose the right path. Make important decisions. Chart a challenging future. the lead and be the difference that will transform the world.
Become the best that you can be. Southwestern University PHINMA.
So that's it for today's webinar. Thank you, Dr. Chen.
Thank you, Dr. Chen.
Marketing team, B School, PHINMA Education students, and to our invited guests. Let's apply what we have learned today. See you again on the upcoming webinars. Please don't forget to follow and like PHINMA Education Career Linkages page. And we would like to congratulate our winners again. Marketing team will call you for further instruction on how to claim your prizes. So thank you, everyone. This is Lynn again. Mayong hapon. Happy Thursday and happy Chinese New Year tomorrow.
Hey,
Kyung Hee Dr. Dr. Chen.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Ma'am Bob.
Hi, thank you, Bob.
How about your chat?
I hope you get your new laptop soon.